So the monthly economic report is now we're moving from out of the game, right? We're moving from out of the game into the game now. We're talking about the in-game economy on the monthly economic report from April, and this actually gives us a lot of insight into what is going on in EVE Online, right? So let's look at some of the graphs in here. Let's start with this one: production versus destruction. Okay. This is the high level graph explaining the health of the game, right? In red here, production kept on going down. That is no surprise at all, right? This is no surprise at all because the announcement of Siege Green, so the reduction of a lot of the production cost of a large number of popular ships, including capitals and faction ships. It already happened in April, so we knew this was coming, right? So anyone in their right mind stopped producing this type of stuff. So the reduction in production is actually not surprising at all. The reduction in mining is you know, it goes a little bit hand in hand, but it's still pretty crazy, right? The destruction was pretty flat at a very low level, to be fair. So this has been, you know, trending downwards since the last war, and it's not a good place to be in these destruction numbers. I'm going to spend less time on this just because, as we usually do, because this is just we just have a lot to talk about today. 2.5 trillion worth of brainless production, you say? No, it's not brainless. There's some stuff that makes sense producing right now. There's just a lot of things that aren't. Mining, ore mined over time, right? This is asteroid ore. Basically trending downwards in April. So here is when they said, oh, look, it's working, everything is working, it's going up. But since then, it's been trending downward. But also, you know, the player numbers have been going down. So this isn't really a big surprise. You see the same on gas mined is going down. In the end, you know, if people are producing a lot less, then you would expect mining numbers to go down a little bit, but this has been more of a 2-3 months long-term trend already going on. Same with ICE. So this is just a testament of fewer people logging in, playing the game. Moon ore, same thing. It's going down overall. A lot of these ores, like for example moon ores, have crashed in price significantly in the last few months, right? So moon ore is basically trading at 50% where it was 3 or 4 months ago. And this also means that the profitability has just plummeted of mining these things. So it's a combination of we have fewer players logging in, plus it's much less profitable than it was. And so we'll see what will happen with. Thank you, Ashtarothi, for the rate with 59. And I saw some of the coverage that you were doing on the FanFest content. Good job, my man. If you guys don't know Ashtarothi, he does a lot of lore content, and he also does a lot of talk show content about EVE Online. So you guys go follow Ash, a very well-known member of the community. Yeah, thank you, Ash. Anyway, so. Moon ore, I mean, at this point, it's not very profitable anymore to mine, and so it's no surprise that it's going down along with player numbers. Let's look at something very interesting. If you guys know, this is my favorite graph. ISK Sinks and Faucets, okay? ISK Sinks and Faucets are very, very crucial when it comes to the economy of EVE Online, because this is what governs the money supply. Essentially, this is what governs inflation. This is what covers deflation. This is the price level of things in EVE Online that are governed by the amount of ISK in game. And typically what you see is a gradual, slow increase of the money in the game as you see the economy expanding. Now, in the last few months, we actually saw money supply going down. A lot of that was due to this number right here, the active ISK delta, and that means the ISK of people that are actively playing. There's two things that are reducing that number, right? One thing is the banning by GMs of, for example, bots, right? And the second thing is people that stop being active, so people that are just not logging in. You will see typically this number be very, very high. This month in April, it was very, very low. So there was essentially very little on the front of bans, but there's also supposedly not a lot of people leaving the game or not logging into the game, which is strange, right? Because in April you would have expected a lot more people leaving the game. So I can't explain the details of that number because I don't have that data, but this is curious, right? In terms of faucets and sinks, it's really not that odd. You have your typical sinks, your typical faucets right here. You're welcome. This is the transaction tax for market trading. That's the biggest ISK sink that I participate in. Then you have things like the LP store and the broker's fee, and on the other side you've got commodity that is blue loot, red loot, generating ISK in the market, and then bounties from ratting. Right, so that's what explains ISK sinks and faucets. We came from a long period of the money supply shrinking. Let's see here. We came last 2 months shrinking, right, and now increasing again. Close to the all-time high. Tivanar, what's up, dude? Have to potentially keep in mind that Russian players might be limited to log in and contribute to any of these numbers. Sure, but that's exactly what we didn't see from active ISK delta. So I'm not sure whether they're we don't know whether they're treating those numbers differently or something. They aren't quitting. They are unsubbing alts. They transfer ISK to remaining characters potentially. Yep. That could be Ash. However, you've got to assume that a lot of people are also quitting, right? I mean, that would be at least what I would assume. Thank you, Bon Joy Toy, for priming subscription for subscribing with Prime. Frango, if you're active in April, you get the rewards of this month. Does that maybe keep people from quitting? Possibly. Yep. People that have been inactive logging in will also add positive to that number. Yep. People that have been inactive logging in will also positive. Yeah, but that's what we've been saying, right? The number is certainly delayed, of course, but we've seen a downward trend over the last few months, so you would expect that. Yeah, if you're transferring all your money to friends, then you're not impacting that. That's for sure. But I don't think. I don't think that's a huge impact, right? I don't think that people transferring the ISK as opposed to going inactive with the ISK. I don't think that disparity is as big as it would have to be to explain all of this number. But yeah. Let me do the raffle draw real quick. The winner is Colin Baker. Colin Baker, are you there? Colin Baker, say something, and you won the partner skin. Colin Baker, yeah. Can you send me a message on Discord or on Twitch, and I will send you that skin. And we're gonna start a new giveaway. Exclamation mark raffle to enter, guys. Okay. Let's go back here real quick and cover blah, blah, blah. I want to talk about velocity. So I'm gonna have to get economically nerdy for a quick second here. The velocity of ISK is important because inflation in a game. So inflation, the rising of price levels, right, is dependent not only on the ISK supply. So the money supply is not the only thing contributing to inflation. It's a product of the velocity of ISK and the money supply. So if the money supply is increasing, but the money is just sitting around, nobody's spending it, nobody's trading it, then we're not going to see inflation, right? if the velocity of ISK is increasing, so people are trading with that ISK is actively participating in the economy, then we are seeing inflation. And what we did see in April is a slight increase in ISK velocity, but overall ISK velocity, as you can see by this graph, has just been dropping for 4 or 5 years. And this just means that while there's more ISK in the game, this ISK is just sitting around, right? This is just sitting. The ISK is just sitting around in wallets of for example, veterans, of alliances. This is a testament to an economy that is continuously less active, right? It's stagnant, right? That would be probably the right English word for it, right? So this does not include well, yeah, no, it would include contracting probably, because the way they define it is that the ISK exchanges hands. So it's any type of situation where the ISK would exchange hands. Yeah. So that's ISK velocity. The thing is, at the current monetary level, right? At the current money supply, right? With this money supply, if ISK velocity was actually very high and increasing, then we would be seeing much higher inflation in EVE, interestingly enough, right? And so the reason they can let the money supply run like this is only because ISK velocity is low. Otherwise, we would have a significant inflation problem, especially because of scarcity, right? Especially because of scarcity. So, you know, that's just probably going into too much of an economics nerdy direction. Let me see if there's anything else that we should talk about. These indices, I love them. You know, this is the price level of various things, categories, item categories in EVE. So here you see the MPI is the basic mineral index, so the cost of basic minerals. The spike you saw here is scarcity, right? Since then it came down. This is the introduction of minerals and other raw materials into the game again. You can see that the price levels dropped a lot. Interestingly, the primary producer index, right, which includes reactions, for example, from moon ore, the basis of tier 2 production, that dropped to basically all-time lows, right? Like right now we're seeing very, very cheap moon ore. We're seeing very, very cheap tier 2 ships. And so, you know, it's not that everything is expensive in EVE right now. Up until this week, and to an extent even now, capitals are still expensive, faction ships are still expensive, but overall, tier 2 regular ships are not expensive at all, because reactions are so cheap, right? And then the secondary producer index is this is finished goods, a lot of finished goods. They are slowly increasing, but they're not at a worrisome level. So yeah. Let's see. The rest of that is just way too nerdy. Oh, this is new. Okay, largest main bank theft. Okay. Might look at this next time, but this is too much content. Okay. All right. Now,